All right. A New York City mayor's race, some basics. We will not know who wins. We'll know who wins the first round, but for some reason they're going to take till early July to do the ranked choice sort. Don't know how that could possibly be. Now, if the gap is narrow, if Cuomo is ahead but only narrowly ahead after the first round, there'll be wide speculation that he's going to lose. Might not be true. If the gap is big and big, I think more than 5 or 6, people will say, well, Cuomo's probably going to win. We really won't know. And then the other thing to remember is that Cuomo, at least, will almost certainly run in the general election on a different ballot line or as an independent, even if he's not the nominee. Everybody, be interesting to see what happens tonight, but this is far from the last word.
How embarrassing is this for New York, though? Seriously, that you, with all of the might that's there intellectually and financially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
are you asking
having an abacus.
Are you asking if it's more embarrassing than the number of rats we have in our subway system? No, it's not.
I think the rats are more tolerable than not being able to count votes.
Okay, I want you both to do one thing each, and then we're going to go to questions. The Mondami campaign has been very well run, and his allies have been very smart. And the Cuomo campaign has had all sorts of problems. So, not pertaining to New York, but more generally applicable. If you were lecturing at a political science course or campaign school, what's a lesson from the Mondami side that you would say other campaigns should pick up on? And what's a lesson from the Cuomo side that you think other campaigns should pick up on? Both the campaign and the super PAC. Dan, one of each.
I think Mondami's what he's done well is he's kind of lived off the land and used social media and to have conversations, to make statements, to keep things short, punchy, quick, constantly feed content into the machine. Cuomo's run a campaign like you would have run 30 years ago. Like it's just very traditional and endorsements and formal events and a microphone and I've got a message of the day. And that is when you look at all these people who are going to primary incumbents. And I just go to when Schakowsky just folded the tent because her 26-year-old opponent was starting to do the same thing, building up a huge list, raising money very quickly, feed the machine, feed the machine. It's what Trump does. Truth post.
All right, and what's something that Cuomo side has done badly?
Everything. They did not do any of this. He has not shown that he's different. I think they thought that people would just say, we need Andrew Cuomo. We need a tough SOB to fix the city. And the environment changed.
Sean?
So I agree with Professor Turntine there. I think that momentum matters. And so I would agree with him like how he's talking about all the tactics. But the bottom line is you want to be surging, you want the momentum, you want the energy. And he has sort of grabbed the AOC energy of New York.
But what's he done applicable to anybody running a race anywhere?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think that like I would go out and find those young whippersnappers, the movers, the shakers. He's not running some massive, inside the beltway independent expenditure operation with high level consultants. He's getting the people on the ground who've got social media accounts, who've got energy, and putting that behind him. Cuomo's the opposite. He's got the big campaign, the consultants, the independent expenditures, the get out the vote effort. As Dan said, rightly so, from outside, he's running a very, very old school traditional campaign. I just don't know that right now in this climate, that's what you want. I will say the one thing that Cuomo's done well, for a guy as scandal plagued as Cuomo is, and for the reasons that he is, I have not heard a peep about all of this stuff. I can't believe that he has gotten a pass on everything that he did wrong between.
Wow, he hasn't on the ground here.
He hasn't done
really? It's all over the. Well, you probably don't look at the accounts of progressives and others here, but I also say, Mark,
or anywhere.
Andrew has not been accessible as much. Like they have kept him back, I think, for the reasons we just said.
Yeah.
But you just that's
I think I failed to mention earlier that the congressional members are being briefed today on Iran, a little late for some taste, but they're being briefed today. All right, here's mine, and then we're going to go to your questions again. Please raise your hand. I think the thing he's done well, I agree with what you guys said. He's been a happy warrior. Whenever you see him, he's got a smile on his face, and I think that's been incredibly effective. I think in general, people like happy candidates and optimistic candidates, but I think it's cut into a little bit of people's concern about some of his policy positions. And on the Cuomo side, I think they've failed on both the earned and paid media to drive a message about him. Cuomo has been at war with the media the entire campaign. And the New York City press corps does not take kindly to being treated poorly. As Dan, as you said, he's not been very accessible. But the paid media, the super PAC got an infusion of cash, as Sean broke, from Michael Bloomberg, but they only started serious negative ads like in the last 2 weeks. They should have been running negative ads against this guy. I know there's always an argument, you build him up. But if your opponent has got momentum and you've got a lot of money, you've got to spend it to surge, to hit the surge protector. And they did until, I think if he loses, it'll be too late. And to me, that's the single biggest mistake they made. And every campaign should take note.
I think, Mark, when you started this conversation, to me, that's where I wanted to just end it, which is, to me, the takeaway, if Mondami wins this thing and Cuomo stays in it, I mean, he's like limping till November. I sort of think the takeaway is, do you want to go with the nutty socialist or the scandal-plagued dude? But that, to me, is not a good place to be either way.
Yeah.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.